Okay, so token metrics indices. What is it, and why is this something that we're very, very excited for? Well, first of all, our community has been asking for this for a while, because if you go to our feedback page at feedback.tokenmetrics.com, so our team has been listening to the feedback from our community. Let me pull this up here. So if you go over here, right, feedback.tokenmetrics.com, as you see here, portfolio recommendations, this has been really the third most requested feature. So the robo-advisor, that's something that's also planned in the roadmap, but that takes a lot longer just due to regulation and compliance stuff. Then email alerts, that's also something we do have in the roadmap. This is probably the next thing we're working on. But portfolio recommendations. So if you go to tokenmetrics.com now, and you go to data, and you go to indices, you can now go through and put in your desired investment style, whether you're a trader, a value investor, your time horizon, whether it's quarterly, annually, your investment style, whether you want something that's balanced, basically a combination of all the different data points, or if you want something that's purely based on fundamentals, purely based on technology. And we'll go through and we'll generate an index essentially that shows the ideal portfolio allocation and the ideal cryptocurrencies to hold, right? So because that's the number one question people have on crypto. What coin do I buy? How much do I buy? What percent should this be in terms of my portfolio? So I want to go through an example index we have. So the best performing index we have at the moment is the trader monthly price prediction. So the price predictions have been very popular on token metrics, and I think that's really kind of our edge, is we use our AI to come up with price predictions. So if you go down here, we have the indice performance metrics. We are comparing all the different indices we have. So everything is transparent. You can view the performance. So if you go here, the trader price predictions monthly ROI index, which began about three months ago, is up 412%, right? And this shows you, so this is a monthly index, meaning that every month there's a rebalancing. So every month it goes through, looks at the holdings it has, it looks at which ones have dropped out based on, so it tries to predict the next 30 days, which coins, out of all the coins we have in our system, which are over 100 different cryptocurrencies, which ones have the highest predicted gain in the next 30 days based on our AI models. Then it takes the top 10 and puts those into a portfolio, and we balance that, we allocate that, the weights based on the grades of each coin. So for example, for this month, this portfolio is holding Algorand, Nebulous, Loom, Eternity, Decred, BitTorrent, Zcoin, Hypercash, Molecular Future, and Wazir X. Now we've gone through and we've filtered out any coins that have very low liquidity. So any coin with a liquidity less than 500,000 has been not put into this index, just to make sure that it's something that's pretty liquid. But the cool thing is, if you go down here, we're tracking the performance of this indice versus Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has pretty much been stagnant, not moving. But this kind of gives you an idea of really how valuable our indices are, right? So depending on which one you are, you now have the ability to come through and compare, because people have been asking us, Ian, or Tokenmetrics team, how do I know your ratings are actually making money? Well, now we actually have a graph and a place to show you exactly how much money each index will be making you, right? So in this case, so if we go down here, we even have the holdings of each index, right? So here we have the holdings, what date each holding was bought. So for example here, Molecular Future has a predicted growth in the next 30 days of over 50%. So that's why it's in this index. Then here it has the price it bought at, the portfolio weights and allocations, the exact cash value. So this is essentially a model portfolio. So this portfolio began at $10,000 and it's already done a 4x on its money, right? So I mean that's why the title of the stream is Money Making Portfolios. So for those who followed me back in 2017 with the Blockfolio, so we're essentially bringing that back but with a whole new twist. Now, one thing to note is this indice, the price prediction indice, is based purely on pricing data. It's not so while it's the best performing indice we have, it's also the most risky because it's not based on fundamentals, not technology, no TA. It's based purely on past pricing data, and then ingesting that into our AI model and trying to predict what are the next coins that are going to go up, right? So this is just one example. So if you go here, let's say you're a hodler who wants to hodl for 1 year, right? So let's say you want to target long-term capital gains tax treatment here in the US. How do you build a portfolio or indice based off of that? So you come here to Tokenmetrics, you put in value investor, you put in time horizon annually, so you only want to rebalance once a year. Then you put in, for example, balanced. So balanced is really a balance between fundamentals and technology. So basically taking a balanced approach, and you click submit, and we'll go through and we'll display all the data we have on this index. So the value investor balanced annually is up 85%, and the 10 holdings of this portfolio are Matic, Network, Ethereum, Neo, Binance, Cardano. Cardano is doing pretty well. Amizago as well, Bitcoin, Dash, Maker, and Cosmos. Now you're probably wondering, how come Bitcoin is only 10%, for example? So we're taking a totally different approach. So our approach is we go through and we rate all these different cryptocurrencies. And so if we go down, okay, it's not here. So we go through and we rate all these different cryptocurrencies, and we decide the weight of the holdings based on the grade. So it's not based on market cap, because if you go to other indices, they weight them based on market cap, so they'll end up having like 60 or 70% Bitcoin. Now for us, we like to be very aggressive with our investment style, but also manage risk. So even though we do have some low cap altcoins in our portfolio, these are, in our opinion, the best altcoins out there. These are not shitcoins. These are real projects with real fundamentals, real technology that are going to perform well the next 1 year. I mean, so for example, I mean, our track record is pretty good in terms of finding early coins. So like, we were investors in Chainlink in the private sale back in August 2017. I mean, I myself took profits a long time ago. I mean, I'm definitely not complaining. I've definitely made enough money on Chainlink. I think I made more than 5x return. But I mean, it kept on going, right? So lesson learned is maybe if I had a longer time horizon of, for example, investing annually, kind of like with this index, for example, maybe I would have even more gains. But that's the idea behind what we're creating. And we think this is going to be, at least right now, the most powerful feature of Tokenmetrics, because now, for example, this versus Bitcoin is doing amazingly well. It's already up 85% in 3 months, right? And then, so this portfolio was created in April. So this was when we began testing, and this basically goes through and displays all that data. There's an issue right now with this one in terms of displaying the amount, I believe. But yeah, so every time there's a change in the transaction and the holdings, this will be documented here. So for example, if we buy, if an index buys a new coin, it will be logged here. And if it sells a coin, it will be logged here as well. And it will always have the cash value amount and the percentage amount. So yeah, so we think this is going to be something that people will gravitate to a lot. Definitely open to feedback from our community as usual. We are hosting a webinar on Tuesday. So if you're a customer, just check your email. Check the last 2 emails we put out. We'll also send one out today as well, going through and inviting you to the call. All right. With that being said, very excited. If you haven't yet joined Tokenmetrics, definitely make sure you join. Go to tokenmetrics.com. Put in the code CryptoFamily, one word, all capital, all caps, and that will get you 10% lifetime discount. Now, please be aware now that we've launched this part of the platform, the discount we have, the half off discount for the annual plan will be removed shortly. probably in the next month or so. So if you haven't yet joined, now would be the time because prices will be going up. Bill, your thoughts on this? Any comments?
You know what? When I first heard you talking about this, it reminds me of when they started to do these things in equities. And that's when the general public became involved in mass. Okay. And now that you've got basically push button portfolios for people in crypto, I don't know, it makes it so much easier for them to get involved, right? Now we're just not drawing lines on charts anymore. People can actually look at a portfolio and then look at a chart and then get involved.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this gives people more faster time to value, right? Because now people can just look at the chart and the portfolio, because not everybody wants to get into the weeds in terms of how we rate and review projects. Some people just want to know what are the good coins to buy, right? So now we've basically done that. So definitely curious to get feedback from the community. Let us know what you think down in the comments below.